Yeah, so we're doing a YouTube video about how much our websites can earn from ads, and we want to show visually how much that looks like. So can we withdraw in quarters? What do you mean they won't go through the vacuum tube thing? A lot of quarters. Got just a few more.
So how much is 100,000 page views really worth in ad revenue? This is it right here, baby.
Here it is. It was it was a bit of an ordeal getting all this from the bank, but we wanted to show you exactly what that could look like. So we put together all of it in quarters, and the amount is $2,500. And yes, that is 10,000 quarters that we stacked today, just for your benefit.
So we're gonna talk about three things with you guys today. What you can expect to make, what ad network to choose, and how to get the most out of your ad network.
Exactly. So the first one, how much can you realistically earn from ads on your website? Well, with 100,000 page views, you could be earning $2,500.
Right.
That's an RPM, or revenue per milli, or 1,000 page views, of $25. That's kind of the upper end of the spectrum we've seen. On a premium ad network, you're going to earn anywhere from, we've seen about $7 all the way up to that $25 number. Now, if you're just putting AdSense ads on your website, 2 to 4 is actually perfectly normal. Now, that may not seem like a lot of money, or it may seem like 100,000 page views is just totally unrealistic. But with some good direction, you can actually get there pretty fast. We have a website that's only been running for about 4 months with content that Freddie totally managed this thing, and it was all written by our creators. And where are we at now?
About 24,000 page views per month.
Yeah, at about 4 months in.
Yeah.
It's totally 5 months in. Okay. It's totally realistic to be able to get there, but it does need some good direction, and you need to do a good job of it. So that's how much you can earn. 100,000 page views, very realistic to do. You could be earning anywhere from about $700 to $2,500 a month just from ads.
Number 2 is choosing the right ad network. So I work with a lot of members of our course, Project 24, and most of them used to use AdSense until we discovered that there really are some better options out there for them.
That's right. So for years, we hardly ever did any ads, because really, like, all we tried was AdSense, and they would send us, like quarters, like almost nothing from month to month. But after a little while, we started testing out some of these other ad brokers, because we started hearing some really, really good things. And we have tested out various ad brokers and come up with our own strategy for what you should do at various places along the way. If your website is on the smaller side, less than 100,000 page views, which isn't really that small, you're not going to be able to do like our favorite thing, which we'll talk about in a second. And for that, I want you to go to the URL right down here below that's going to explain to you exactly which ad brokers to use and at which level of traffic for your website. If you're below the lowest level of traffic, you could still use AdSense, but again, at that level, this is the kind of income you're really looking at. This is what's available to you with a little bit of time. Okay, so once you've hit 100,000 page views, then what? AdThrive is by far our favorite ad network. We've been working with them for several years on a couple of our different websites that have gotten to that point, and they take care of us so well. They don't fill up our site with just like spammy ads all over the place. They give us, premium ads from premium ad networks. They're willing to pay more for the ad. The ad placements are really good and really valuable. And they actually help us optimize our website, give us all sorts of information to be able to make the most money possible from our ad network. So AdThrive by far is our favorite. And I'll tell you what, there's no affiliate link for us to AdThrive. They don't even have an affiliate program.
Right.
They're not paying us to say this. They are paying us, but not to say this. They're paying us through the ads on our website.
And the third one is how to get the most out of your ad network, which really comes down to three basic things that we're going to talk about. And the first one is reputation.
That's right. So that's your reputation. And really that comes down to like, what does your site look like? What's the feel of it? What sort of reputation does it have with your audience? And that establishes a reputation for the brands as well. A lot of brands don't want to be associated with a website that feels really, really basic, really, really amateur, or that covers maybe controversial topics that can tie into the reputation as well. And so what you want to do before even trying to sign up for one of these ad networks, but also even once you're on them, is to stage your site well. This is where getting a good theme that's just clean, pretty minimal, is actually going to really pay off. This is where getting a professionally done logo is actually going to pay off on your site. These are the kinds of things that are going to establish a nice, clean reputation so that, a consumer brand like Dove soap is going to be interested in being associated with your website, even if your site has nothing to do with soap or cleanliness. The second one is the demographics of the target audience for the content on your website.
Right, so you want to reach an audience that has a little bit of disposable income. For example, if your target audience is a couple of 12-year-olds watching pro wrestling from their double wide, probably not the best audience.
Advertisers aren't trying to reach them.
Right, they don't have very much money to spend, right?
But if it's Jacques who just played polo this morning and is now looking at yachts, I mean, everybody wants to get this guy.
Yeah.
Now, that's not to say that you need to necessarily have a topic for your website that's like just super for only rich people, but hobby topics, anything that basically requires people to have free time and disposable income, the type of people that are likely to have an income. Here's an example. If you have a website about landscaping for your yard, there's a few things that are really going to be going well for you there. First of all, landscaping, people are only really worried about landscaping if they own their home.
Yeah.
So your target audience is going to be homeowners. These people have more money oftentimes than renters. Mm-hmm. But secondly, it's people who have a yard. And we all know that nobody in the UK has a yard, they have a garden. And it's just advertisers are willing to pay a lot of money for a primarily US audience. And so you are going to tend to have more people on your website from the US if you're using terminology that is more US centric.
And the third one is choosing a topic of your site that is brand or advertiser friendly. That's
exactly right. So there are a lot of topics that may not necessarily have a target demographic that's totally ideal, but that brands are perfectly happy to be associated with. For example, a lot of lifestyle blogs. They're just very fun and very light and very happy. They make people feel good.
Right.
And brands like being associated with that. If you had a website about college choice, well, college-age kids don't necessarily have a lot of disposable income, but it's a topic that's very advertiser friendly because at this time in people's lives, they are actually spending a lot of money. And so anything oriented to college kids may actually do really, really well with advertisers.
Now, that being said, there are some topics for your site that you should stay away from.
Absolutely. Anything that's going to be really controversial is not going to appeal to these advertiser networks, especially somebody like AdThrive. So staying away from hunting and guns, just overly controversial. Even talking about glue guns on your website can get you in trouble because these advertisers, they'll do a blanket search on your website for certain target words like gun, and they'll just blacklist your site right off the bat. So if you have a crafting website, avoid the word gun anywhere on the site.
Yeah.
Adult websites also are not going to do well with these ad networks. You have to get separate advertising if that's the orientation of your website. There are plenty of topics that are going to find themselves kind of in the middle. So a website about t-ball is probably going to do fine, but it's not necessarily going to do amazing because it just has a much broader audience base. It's a clean enough topic. It's totally fine, but it's not something where the target demographic is necessarily homeowners. It's not something where advertisers are going to be super excited to spend a whole bunch of money. Now, those are some of the ways where you can absolutely help to get yourself approved by these premium ad networks and boost your RPM. There are a handful of other really specific tactical things you could do pretty easily. And if you're a member of Project 24, make sure you go check out the updates to the ads course in Project 24. I actually just went through that. There are really specific tactics on how to get people on your page longer, how to get more ads to show up, how to get them to display longer, and that's going to help you boost your RPM as well.